I'm going to see if I can get everybody's videos off, unless you want them off, but I still want everybody to be able to chat if they want to. So there's a little like chat bubble at the bottom. So if you click that, to the right, what will pop up is a just chat screen for Q&A and questions. And you can choose to do that without the video, or you can just put your phone down. So it's, oh, there's Dr. Bluestein. Hi, Dr. Bluestein. Is that Dr. Bluestein? So thank you for everybody who's joining in and who's patience. Technology is always patient. Zoom is a great platform. Sometimes, as I told Liz earlier, sometimes it's a little too easy. You want it to be harder, but then sometimes the easiest things are a little bit difficult, especially when you're first doing something like this, even if you've used it before. So on a personal note, my brand new computer crashed last night. The one I bought for these things crashed last night. And so my husband raced to the Apple store. So it's working right now. So if something happens, Rachel will just continue the meeting and I'll just log in from my phone so you can see me. I am Kendra Nielsen-Miles. I am the executive director and founder of EDS Wellness. And I'm happy to share this and do this video webinar series with everybody and do something a little bit different. You know, webinars are common. Conferences are common, but they don't really reach everybody. And my goal is to really try to reach as many people as possible, humanly possible, in every way, on every platform possible. And I feel really strongly about that. I have a lot of friends that are in other countries that don't have access to health information. And I think something is better than nothing. And at the end of the day, we just need help. And if you have nobody, a doctor to help you, even a proper diagnosis, there's still some things that can help us live well, even just a little bit. So Rachel, who is our first speaker, presenter, panelist, discussion leader for the 2018 webinar series with EDS Wellness, is my friend Rachel. Her name is Rachel Carey-McElwaney. And I was laughing when I first started that Rachel's claim to fame was that she married the best friend of the guy, my best friend, who dislocated my knee senior year in high school. And I always think back to that because that was such a funny time. And not that I didn't have signs way long ago since I was a kid, but that was probably one of the really first big signs, if somebody would actually connected the dots years before, that I had EDS. Because it literally just like popped out of socket when we were wrestling. And then I bought him at the senior auction and made him wear my brace, my knee brace, and Carlton hat, because he looked like Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So Rachel's married to his best friend, and we're also really good friends, but Rachel is a life coach, success coach, and she also focuses on teens and young adults. She spoke at Wellapalooza. She's done an amazing job with growing her business. She's incredibly talented, not just my friend, but really has been an amazing source of life coaching even for me and support for our community, which really, there's not a whole lot of people that do life coaching that really kind of understand chronic illness, especially teens. And, you know, like I always say at the end of the day, we still need to think about living and ways to live and careers and how to think outside of the box and vision and dream and have a break from our brains of always thinking about the barriers that we have or the struggles. Sometimes it's good just to set goals, even if they seem so unrealistic, but that's where Rachel comes in, and she's been great. So thank you, Rachel, for coming again, or coming again virtually this time, and for helping. And also, I also want to make sure that I also say that while we're focusing on teens and young adults this time, Rachel we did talk about doing a kind of an adult webinar at some point in the future, because there's probably a lot of people like me who are, I don't want to say middle-aged, it's really scary, but I will be 40 next year, who had a career and stopped it, were on disability, and I wasn't on Social Security disability, but then I started my own business. I've been working for myself, including EDS Wellness, and you kind of get to the point in life where you think, what am I doing? What should I be doing? What can I do? And there's a lot of that. There's also a lot of that even when you're 30 and suddenly you get sick. So we're going to talk about that. That's still prevalent, I think, here. I think a lot of the stuff that she's going to go over is pertinent to all of us, but just to let everybody know, we're going to do adults specifically. at another time. So.
Well, thank you, Kendra, for having me back. And when Kendra approached me, she asked me, when she approached me before Wellapalooza, she asked me to help in kind of that feeling of stuckness that comes up when chronic illness impacts your ability to function like everybody else. That kind of can dissuade some feelings of opportunity. And although I myself don't suffer from EDS, Kendra's done a really good job as far as educating me on this specific illness. And I have family members that suffer from Hashimoto's and lupus. And I myself am blessed to only just miss a spleen. So I'm constantly sick and having to kind of function through that part of it. Just as a quick show of hands, and is there a show of hands button?
I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I can click more.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, they could probably like type in the chat group.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are hands, but go ahead.
Yeah. So in the chat group, in the chat window, just pop in and let me know how many are teens and how many are people that are a teen supporter, just so that I know who we kind of have in the audience.
We should also probably say young adults, because there's probably some parents that have young adults, 20-something, 25, that are probably still at home, trying to, go to school and find their way. Okay, so teen supporter, young adult supporter. Liz is a supporter of 2 young adults with EDS, both at home.
Okay. Okay, so we have, so it looks like more so to the supporter side. And so, are you drawing, Kendra?
No, gosh, no, I don't know what that is. That might be somebody else.
That's fantastic.
Let me see if I can't see the videos, so I can't stop that. Maybe you can. I can't see that. I'm not drawing.
I don't know.
Is that your cursor?
My cursor is not, no, because I'm not up in the annotate.
All right, well, I'm not going to. Go ahead.
Anyway. Okay, so this does help because now I see that a lot of what I kind of had presented was geared towards speaking to teens directly, and teens and young adults. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot a little bit to try to help you guys take this material and then support the teens or young adults that you're supporting at home. So we'll shift it up just a little bit. Oh, Liz, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. Get going. So who am I? Kendra introduced me a bit, but so I have about 15 years of experience in human resources. That's what I studied in college, and I've worked with multiple businesses, some global, some national, some regional, and right now very local. I've moved into more of a local setting now with my HR support, and then I take that 15 years of experience in human resources and I dive that a lot over into what I was doing with working with teens. I started out working as a teen, what I called a teen career strategist, kind of helping them. I don't know about you guys, but when I graduated, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, and then it changed, and then it changed again, and then it changed again. And then I finally had that focus. And what I was noticing is when you're spending about $20,000 a year on college, to have so many shifts is expensive. So it was really working with some high school students here, really get focused in on what it is that they wanted to do when they graduated high school and beyond. And I also worked with some young adults that had some chronic illness that was impacting them in the workplace. And it was impacting their ability to hold a job. So we did some awareness as far as legal rights, as well as how to navigate those kinds of things in the workplace. And that's kind of where I started. And then just recently went back to expand more in depth from career strategy into more life in particular, diving a little bit deeper, getting to be able to support my clients a little bit more. So outside of work, I have 2 kids. I have a 19-year-old daughter, and I have a 7-year-old son. And in my spare time, I like to be near the water, if at all possible. I find it relaxing. Um, but where I kind of connected and where I can at least relate in the challenges that kind of come up when setting goals. I was always a goal-oriented person. I was the person that was setting goals in middle school and 10, 15 years out. I had my life planned. And when I was 15 years old, I was a passenger in a vehicle traveling, please forgive that, traveling 70 miles an hour straight into a tree, which ruptured my spleen and lacerated my liver, and we weren't 100% sure if I was going to make it out or not. The impact of the loss of the spleen resulted in a lowered immune system, which leaves me getting ill frequently. So, and when I get ill, it lasts a long time. So something as a simple cold can lay me out for 3 or 4 weeks. And right before Wellapalooza, I was in the hospital with pneumonia and strep. I like to get double illnesses. So that definitely has impacted work and the goals that I set and things like that. But some of these tools that I've learned here were some of the things that I worked through myself to keep myself goal-oriented and keep myself moving forward. So hopefully we'll take some of these and be able to help you guys help the people that you are supporting at home. So one of the key concepts within the coaching module that I am trained in is really focusing on the energy that we bring into everything that we do. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on that today because I really want to dive into the content of goals and looking at blocks. But the key concepts that I want to kind of just grasp really quickly on the energy levels is there's 7 typical energy levels that people can fluctuate through any given day during different situations. But they fall into 2 different categories. One is catabolic and one is anabolic. Catabolic energy is energy that will help kind of give you the burst of energy that you need in order to drive through a stressful situation. Like if you are being attacked, it's going to give you that fight, flight, faint, or freeze response. But after a while under those conditions, that can be catabolic to you. It can start tearing things down for you. It's not something that is sustainable for a long period of time. And it can definitely come into place where it's impacting your health and impacting your ability to accomplish the things that you want. Anabolic energy, on the other hand, is energy that is fueling. It's building. So when you approach a situation with anabolic energy, you're going to be more likely to see the opportunity, to see the full scope of what's ahead of you, so that you can make the decision that's going to best fill that need that you have in that moment. You guys may have thought of like a person before that just they don't see the silver lining. They're angry all the time. They're just always in a space of conflict. They don't move forward as quickly as the other person that's, you know, high in the sky, things are going well for me, and they can drive things forward. I remember when I was a teen watching somebody that was a couple years older than me, and I have a thing about names, and I freeze and I freak out because it's really important to me to learn the name, and because I put so much importance out of fear of not remembering, out of fear of insulting somebody, I freeze and then I actually don't remember the name. It actually goes against what it is that I'm trying to do. And I remember watching this guy who was a couple years older than me approach somebody and be like, I know your face, but I can't remember your name. Remind me your name. And he was just so comfortable with it. And that's the difference. Like I was coming at it with a catabolic energy, and he was coming at it with an anabolic. Like he's just open, whereas I was like, oh, I've got to remember this, and tensing up. So that's kind of the difference between the energy levels. And again, without going into it too deeply, the 7 energy levels are labeled. I still haven't found the right label. The organization calls level 1, they label it victim. I don't like that particular term. But what it ultimately means is that you are at the effect of something. You are powerless to something. It is outside of your control. And so